Good morning and welcome to Community Spotlight. The following program is recorded and we are not accepting any phone calls. Our guest today, Stephanie Chambers, you are making free masks for anyone who needs them.
I am.
How did you get involved in this?
Well, when everything kind of started, I needed masks for my family, for my kids, because we were all still working, and they were difficult to come by. I'm not the best at sewing, but I figured if I could get the material and make them because they were so hard for me to find, there's got to be other people that are having difficulty finding them or affording them. So I was able to get the material that I purchased and make masks, and I've been mailing them out to people that need them for the last couple weeks, actually.
Wow. Now, a little bit of extra story here. You're a wife. You're a mother. You work at home. Your husband is still considered essential, so he's going off to work, and you're working from home. You've got the kids. You got the dogs. You got the cats, and you're making face masks. How long does it take you to put one of them together?
It takes me about 15 minutes to put one together. To today, I've made 193.
Wow.
And mailed them all out. So I have about 76 more masks that I need to make for people in the next couple days.
Now, right now, I know that somebody is listening and they're saying, well, how do I get my hands on one of Stephanie's masks? And how do they get in contact with you?
Most people have been contacting me through my Facebook. If you just look up my name, I'm there, and there's a picture of my kids on my profile.
Stephanie Chambers.
And, yep. And I am on TikTok, and so, again, you can look me up there and message me through there. I'm just trying to help as many people as I can.
Well, that's fantastic. Now, you don't charge for this. These are free masks, and you invest your time. And how do you get all the cloth for that kind of stuff?
I have a friend that sells clothing, and she had some leggings that it seems to be the perfect material for them because it's stretchy and it's not as big. She has been mailing them to me. She has donated a lot. I've purchased some, and I've had other people that I've mailed them to that have contacted me and said, can I pay you for them? And I keep telling them no, and they're like, well, can I donate hair ties or whatever I can to help you make more? So I've just been thankful to have the resources to get everything that I needed.
So you need the fabric and obviously some sort of like thread, and then you said, what else? Hair ties?
Yes. Normal hair ties without the metal is actually what I'm using to go around your ear. It's got more elasticity. It doesn't break as easily as normal elastic or rubber bands. They're hard to come by right now. I've cleared out pretty much every store in Brooksville of them. But they seem to be the perfect thing that works for just about everyone because they're not a certain size. They can stretch to fit whoever's face they need to.
So I don't know how to make anything like that. I'm the worst person. If you put me in front of a sewing machine and you showed me exactly how to do that, and it's like, there you go, Joe, it's not that hard. Oh, I'll show you how bad I'll mess that thing up. I mean, really. So this is something that projecting down the road, it looks like, we're probably going to have to wear masks for a while.
Quite a while.
Yep. So this is something that's not just like, well, until we get through like a short time period, but maybe this is going to kind of go on as more and more things start to open up, that the face mask thing will become our new norm for a time period. And you're making them, you're shipping them out. So you cover the shipping costs then too?
I do.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of people that are out of work right now. There's a lot of people that are having difficulty just putting groceries on the table, and I'm blessed to still be able to have my husband working and myself. And so if I can help someone out and take that burden off of them, I want to be able to do that.
Do you find it relaxing to make the face masks?
I do when my kids are not asking me for a million things.
What part of the day is that? When they're sleeping?
Yeah.
So you make all your masks overnight.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's something that I can do, and I'm not, taxes are something that I do and I help people with, but it's not something that is extremely essential right now, and I'm not a healthcare worker that's, struggling and around it, and so this was my way of being able to help.
Did you ever make a face mask before in your life when this?
Never.
Okay. How did you figure out how to make one?
I actually saw a video on YouTube. My kids are kind of addicted to YouTube, and so my son brought up a video to me, and he's like, Mom, you can do this.
So
I said, okay.
your
So,
son gave you the command. Here, look, this is what you can
yeah,
do.
yeah, they kind of rule the house.
How old is your son for saying something like that?
My oldest is 9. He's the
Oh,
one that told me about it. And then I have a 5-year-old as well.
okay. So he showed you the video on YouTube how to do this.
Yeah.
What was the biggest project with a sewing machine, thread, and fabric that you've ever done before you started making free masks for everybody?
The only thing other than that I've done with my sewing machine is make like pajamas for my kids where I cut it out and just had to sew it. I don't sew often. I don't make a whole lot of stuff. My sewing machine was packed away because we just moved and covered in dust, so I had to pull it out and remember how to use it.
Pajama pants, that's still very difficult in my opinion. I can't do, there's no way.
Thankfully, when I was still in school, they still had home ec classes, so I learned how to sew in high school.
That was very good. And so you still retain the knowledge of what you learned in home ec, and you're applying
Enough of it to get me by.
You know, I was fortunate because some of the girls in the class would actually sew for me. I don't know why they were they were so nice, and they said, "Here, Joe, I'll do that." And it wasn't only sewing I was bad at. Wood shop, I was pretty bad in wood shop too. I remember the wood shop teacher. We had to make these horse lamps, right? You remember them? They had, you pull the tail, and then the lamp is supposed to light. Yeah. Well, mine was so bad. The wood shop teacher said, "Joe, if this were a real horse, would have to put it down." I mean, it was that bad, Stephanie. But you retained the knowledge from home ec, how to sew. You had a sewing machine collecting dust, and you knew how to make the pajama pants for your kids. And then this comes along, and face masks are hard to find. I've noticed a lot of people, they put the bandanas around their head, but some apparently can't tie them right, and they just kind of fall down. And you have to wear them in all the places. So how do your masks work? Do you have to tie them in the back, or you said the elasticity goes behind the ears? They just fit?
Right. They don't. You don't have to tie them or anything. There's a hair tie on each side of them, so that way you put that around your ear and it's ready to go. It's a lot easier. It's not something that you have to worry about it being too tight or anything. It's got enough breathable room that it's not as annoying whenever you have to go through the grocery store.
What's the best type of fabric to use? You said leggings, that's the best fabric, so to chop them up. But if somebody actually had what's the next best thing?
Pretty much, I can make it out of anything that's not too thick, just because you want to be able to breathe out of it. So
I've noticed
cotton in them.
So cotton's pretty good then.
Yes.
Have you ever had anybody say, "Look, I've got Pittsburgh Steelers fabric. Can you make a Steelers mask for me? And then keep the extra fabric."
I'm actually meeting a girl in Punxsutawney today because she has a bunch of fabric and she needs about 20 masks that she is going to give out to homeless people that can't go into Sheetz or anything now because they don't have masks. She got a hold of me last night and said, "Look, I need masks. I don't know how to make them. Can you help me?" She was at Sheetz the other day and she said a homeless gentleman walked in and they told him he couldn't come in because he didn't have a mask. And so I'm partnering with her to be able to make her masks that she can give out to the community that needs them desperately.
Stephanie Chambers on Facebook is where you can find her, and she's got a picture of her kid and her dogs, and then you just send her a private message, and you give away a bunch of How many face masks have you given away so far?
About 197, 196 I've given away so far. I have orders for another 70 some, and I'm just going to keep making them until they're not needed anymore. And
it takes about 15 minutes to make each mask.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you listen to music while you're doing that to kind of zone out a little bit?
I actually sit normally at my dining room table with my kids while they're doing their schoolwork here, so I help them with that while I'm making masks.
Wow. And no music in the background or anything like that?
No, they can't seem to deal with music and not be distracted.
Well, that's probably a good point right there. If you could listen to tunes, what would you be listening to in the background?
Oh, probably 103.3.
Cool 103.
My dad's favorite station.
Oh, my God. And we didn't even have to. Again, you volunteer everything like that. I mean, the masks and publicity for us. Thank you, Stephanie.
Of course.
We really appreciate that, too.
Of course.
So then, hopefully, I mean, this eventually, it will get to the point where we won't have to wear them. But in the meantime, it looks like we're going to be wearing masks for a while, and and you're making masks and you're doing it just to really help out. This is just amazing because I did see a story from WABC out of New York, and there's a dry cleaners there, and they were in business for 30 years. The immigrants came over 30 years, and then they started this dry cleaner business. They had nothing when they came to this country, and then somehow they worked their way into owning this business, and then, of course, it got shut down. It's non-essential, so then they started making masks for the community in the part of Brooklyn they live in. And the same
incredible.
thing, they're just, and they're giving them away. Now, people do, give them donations and stuff. Like you said, one of your friends you made a contact with, that's like, well, here's some fabric, and, this would really help out. Now, you do take donations that way, right?
I do.
So that's great if somebody could help you donate, to help donate to you, to help this go.
Anything that comes to me is all being put back into making more masks.
You don't have a name for the project you're doing yet. Right now, it's just Stephanie Chambers is making masks and giving them away for free. That's kind of a long title,
It sure is.
Steffi's Free Masks.
There you go.
Is that Steffi's Free Masks? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
You probably think of something a lot better than that. It's just kind of right to the point. So again, on Facebook, find Stephanie Chambers and private message her, and then you'll get the free masks. I mean, even the shipping, that's amazing. You ever leave them out on your front door in a box and say, well, there you go?
I have not. I live on 322 where there isn't a whole lot of foot traffic. But I've had some people that have come and picked them up. I put them in my car and let them pick it up, and they get to go about their day. So
wow. But they could probably drop off donations, just not even have to stop. If you're on 322, just ready to throw it out the window now. No,
yeah, pretty much.
Stephanie, on behalf of everybody that's, going through this and stuff, thank you for making the masks, for the community. That is just incredible. So I hope more people contact you by going to Facebook, check out Stephanie Chambers, and give her a private message. And you're also on TikTok as well. So
I am.
That's a good thing. Stephanie, thank you. And that's Community Spotlight Forward this morning.